Well, Joe, your moment has arrived. So after talking with you, you want me to, we're going to go through, we're going to service everything. We're going to look at the handsets, and you wanted me to make the best choice for the watch. What you wanted me to do, what I would do, were it my watch. Well, if this were my watch, I would definitely, I'm going to have to look closely at this handset, because with this black stuff on here, that's corrosion. Sometimes I can get that clean and relume it, but it might be better to simply replace the handset. If I have an original set that would look a little better, or I can always do my Vintalume action. We'll see. What I'm going to do, I guess, then, is this handset's lost no matter what, pretty much. I'm going to strip the loom and clean the metal and see what we're dealing with in terms of metal damage, if any, and then I'll go from there. I'm also going to restore this pip here for you because that's all jacked up. She's clearly a runner, which is good news. Let's get it going. Okay, so here's a little fun fact. Seiko, these inserts, Seiko used the same basic insert for the 6105 and the 6309s. The 6306s too. The main difference is that the 6105 inserts were thinner. In order to make up the difference, if they used the thinner style insert, is they produced this little metal back diddly, this spacer. I'm not exactly sure why, but it's like 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other. Any chance that you'll either see just the insert, or you'll see the thinner insert with this thing. So this insert would actually fit into a 6105 rotating ring, which is pretty cool. Got some gruck going on there. Nothing wrong with some healthy gruck on a Monday. Okay, so got the crystal retaining ring off. Nice to see that despite the gruck, there's no rust in there that I can see. I want to, in this particular case, normally I would start going into the back of the movement first, but I actually want to pull the crystal and get those hands out of there because I don't want to move them around too much. So I have to break the seal of the L profile crystal gasket. I do that by just drawing around like this a little bit. And it works most of the time, some of the time. None of the time? No, it definitely works. I have to get a new suction cup though, mine broke. I might have to, this one seems like it's pretty well in there. Let's try that again. Because the thing is, you don't ever want to try to lever up a crystal. That's a real good way to put a nice big scratch across the dial. We don't want that. No. Break that seal. Let's do it here. See if I can get it out. Wow, this one doesn't want to come out. It's trying. I can see it pulling up. Well, let me get on it. There it is. It just needed some persuasion. There's your original crystal with its frosted bevel. And that goes in your parts packet that you will get, and you can do with what you will. And there we go. There's our handset. I don't know. I'll see what happens with that loom. Sometimes, honestly, I never quite know what I'm going to get. I never quite know what I'm going to see when I strip those down, but we'll find out. Okay, so we got the cases apart, and it's in the ultrasonic cleaner for case bits. This is a really late cushion case, 6309. In that it's January 1987, very, very late. Your bits are dirty. There's your original stem, but the nice thing is that it is actually, you can't really see because it's so dirty. That's where the water got in, by the way. But everything is complete and intact. You even have your stem rest washer, which is a great sign. That's a great sign. So I'll pull this apart and it'll be all beautiful. But this being a really late dial, it's not actually even dated on the back. One of the things that Seiko sort of did away with at a certain point, and so you see that on later watches, but this is a later one, so there it is. You've got some gruck on the markers, but overall the dial's pleasant. Nice looking. Nice looking. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, another late thing is that this is the dial ring. You can tell this is late because it's sort of this weird semi-translucent egg white color versus the earlier ones were like a solid plastic in sort of a gray or a gray tan, and they tend to be brittle and they tend to break a lot. But these later ones don't. They changed the formula. I'm not sure why, but they did. Working on the other side now. I got all your stem stuff came apart nicely. Your crown seal is right there, falling apart. Another sign of this being a late piece is like all these, like that plastic piece right there, almost in all of these, those are again sort of the same sort of whitish semi-translucent gray, but the very late ones, they're green. And I bet you anything, when I flip this over and I pull the calendar apart, we're going to see that those plastic parts are green as well. But I don't think there's any functional difference. I have my theories about it, but I'm not entirely sure if there's any grounding to that. But I don't know. We'll see. Pretty loose. Look at that. Lower mainspring arbor. I can feel it going click, 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 click. So that's roasted. Lower mainspring arbor port. Let's see. We might be able to see some. Sorry about the squeaking. See some brassing under here. Pull that just for fun. Let's see now. I need to close that office door. Oh yeah. That's how far it's tipping over. Grinding into the face there. Well, see, that's how we know. Let's move forward. Now is always the fun time. It's always good to check for lash and shake too, and let's see how much that fourth wheel is moving up and down. That's a worn fourth wheel, worn jewel there. I've seen worse. But with these, it's almost always this fourth wheel. These are almost always badly worn. I'll have to look at the wheel and see where we're at. I might need to jewel that. Here's the underside of the bridge. You can see, we can see a few things here. This is the hole here for that fourth wheel, and you can see that it's totally blown out. See, it's ovaled out. Can you see that? Also, somebody's been in and they did try to repair some slop on the third wheel as well. They pinned that in. So both of these bushings are essentially junk. And you can see the wear on the bottom of the upper mainspring arbor bushing. You can see that ridge there. So that's going to need some love. Love is what we need, as the song goes. It's certainly true for watches. I'll look at these wheels more closely right after I clean them, so we know more. This is a watch that a lot of miles on this watch, a lot of hours on it. I'm gonna pull the center wheel cock. I can hear some giggling from the back. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, we can pull that piece out. Let's see what the underside of the mainspring. Ooh, look at that, nice hair in there. Oh my God. Woo! Nelly! What the heck is that? Wow! Holy crap! What the heck is going on there? And it looks like the whole main plate is bent. Wow, that's some... What in the heck? Woof! Well, obviously we're going to be jeweling that, and this kind of repair, whatever this was an attempt to do, was not successful. Okay, I'm going to have to look at that real close. Okay, I see what the person did. They used a half-moon punch to try to close the hole up. Right here, there's that ridge, but then it brought up a whole bunch of metal, and instead of sort of using a staking press to kind of flatten that down, they just sort of scraped it off. So, well, whatever, I'm going to jewel it, and that'll be the end of that story. Whoever this person was, they also did a serious number on your mainspring. That is junk. It's been recurved manually to try to get it to grip the sidewall better, but they tweaked it and bent it in a whole bunch of places. It's junk. Junk, so I'm sorry, that is going to absolutely need replacement. That is just garbage. It's not supposed to look like that at all. Okay, onward and upward. Flipping it over, working on the other side now, and I am... It's something else that we see that's pretty typical. This is the snap ring to keep the day on. The person, whoever did this work, put it on upside down. The bevel's supposed to go down, it was up. That happens. I see that pretty regularly for when people are not... People who work on these who aren't super familiar with them. It doesn't really mean anything, but it's just one of those things. And look at that, see, I was right. Green. Even the little intermediary drive wheel is green. It's what we see in these super late ones. You can see there's the lower mainspring arbor port from the other side. You can see how blown out it is. It's a big old oval. So gotta machine that out. That's just gonna be fun. Okay, now I've got to work on that. So we're not gonna see that process because I have to be right on top of it when I'm doing that, but you'll see the final product. Okay, well, sorry if it's really noisy. I have a ultrasonic and some other stuff going. I'll try to speak up. Anyway, here we are, coming on towards the end of the day because of the number of repairs I had to do. So here is the lower main plate. So you can still see some of that scratching is here, but I machined it out, and the nice thing is that I machined it out and I set the jewel correctly to the plane of this depression, this step here. And so even though this scratchy, scrapey stuff is below that, it's fine. It's more than fine, and it's a nice fix because it takes this damage and it invalidates it. It means it doesn't matter at all. The rest of the jewels look fine. They're all looking good. Your train bridge, there's so much wrong with it. It simply is going to be easier to simply replace the entire bridge. This is a replacement bridge that has good, that is in very good original condition. It's got all good bushings, good upper mainspring arbor port. It's what we need. So rather than spending the time and the money to go and rework your original bridge, which is bad in darn near every single way you can imagine, I'm just going to replace the darn thing, and it'll be cheaper and faster. Then let's go from there. Well, the shadows are lengthening, and so I'm at the end of my day. Sun is down. I'm going to try to do a few more things. I did end up replacing that the entire bridge, and your center wheel, and also your mainspring arbor, because your mainspring arbor was kind of hacked up by all the weird work that got done. But it's always nice to see, if you look, it's all nice and clean now, but there's your nice new jewel on the other side. And I'm about to drop the balance. Here's your crown, all nice and clean. You can see your super important stem rest washer right there, that's the heart and soul of everything. Without a stem rest washer, you're just whistling Dixie. Not really, but in any case. So I am now going to drop the balance because that's always the fun part, and then I'm going to let this thing run in overnight so we can see what kind of numbers we get. I'm doing this off screen because I really like to be right on top of this important process, getting this to where it goes rather than trying to do this by feel. And there she blows. Starting to think about it. It'll be happier when I drop this screw. 6309s are always happier when that balance cock screw is in place because it clears up the clearances. So let me just do that. Would you drop? Oh, stop it. Stop fighting me. You're not impressing me at all. There. Well, no matter what else you can say about anything, it's running. Okay. Well, I want to let it run in overnight, and then I'm going to get to it tomorrow morning. Oh, and I wanted to show you, I'm very impressed with this. So your original handset, you remember how gross they looked. Let me move this to one side. After I did my special secret cleaning process, there they are. They're a little hazy, but they are intact. See if I can get a reflection of her. You can see it's got a little bit of pitting on that face and a little bit of hazing. I'll see if I can drop that hazing down just a little bit, but it's far better than I expected it to be. We'll get those a little shinier and then I'll relume them. And there it is. That one, especially the hour hand, came out great. Okay, and I'll get those cleaned up. It's always nice to use the original parts because I like watches to be as original as possible. Okay, well, that's it. I'm going to pull the plug. I'm done for the day. We'll see how it goes. It's the same, sorry, it's just a few minutes later. I just wanted to show you this. These are the first numbers. It hasn't even run in yet. I did have a lot of fun. There was a fair amount of end shake on a couple of things, and I had to adjust jewels, center wheel jewel, bottom escape wheel jewel, some other stuff. But you know, that's a real good place to start. I haven't adjusted, I haven't touched it, I haven't done anything. Well, I did something right today. Woof. Okay, well, hey. I tell you, a new mainspring is always a good thing, and repairing a whole bunch of damage and wear is also a good thing. Nuts. Okay, that's the kind of result I like to see. That's a great start. Cool. One last look, and okay, now I'm going to pull the plug and go upstairs. Okay, that's great. Okay, so here we are. Happy day. Dial is on. The numbers are still great. I'm just about in the process of setting the hands. The loom is all cured. So these are, again, these are your original hands with my Vintaloom. The plating is a little thin because of the water intrusion, but I mean, they're fine. There's no pitting, which I'm very happy about. Let me set these hands, and then we'll see how we go from there. Okay, and there we have the hands set. Chugging along. I think I did a pretty credible job relooming those hands. And they glow at the same ridge as the dial, which is nice. So unless you tell somebody, they're not really going to know. But I'm telling everybody, and I'm telling you that this is my reloom on the hands, but the hands are original. Today is okay, there we go. Excellent. All right, so that's going to sit there for a second. Now the next fun thing is I went and I took your entire rotating ring apart because I wanted to be able to get to the back of that, the back of your pip, which is there. It's scratched up on the outside, so it looks a little darker than it is. But there it is. And that looks, I reloomed that and it looks dead stock. That's what they look like. And so I'm extremely proud of that. And this is the same loom as the hands. And so it's going to glow to the same amount. Because this top surface of the pip is kind of rumply and scarred up, it doesn't look as clean as it would have when it was new, but it matches the rest of it. And I'm extraordinarily pleased with that. It literally looks like stock. That's what they look like when they're brand new. So I'm going to put that back together, and then I'm going to assemble the watch, and then then it's going to be time for positional testing and all that stuff, and then we should see the we should be done here by the end of the weekend. Anyway, that's about it. So let's move on to the next stage. And there we go. There's the ring all back together in the exact same orientation it was in before, because I marked it. And there you go. Super duper clean. Isn't that nice? Well, there are a few things in life that are as nice as being extra clean. And that is extra clean. Okay. Next stage. Okay. On the point of casing, just to let you know what we've got here, just things to be aware of. There's a tiny bit of pitting inside your case back, just a tiny bit right there, but inside your case, but the case back actually, it's not terrible. Believe me, I've seen far, far worse, and it is on the outside of the seal area, which is good. The actual sealing surface is fine. You just need to be aware that these little pecks and pokes here are here, but the sealing surfaces are fine. So that's just something to be aware of. The sealing surfaces are not compromised, but you should know that there is some pitting there. But believe me, I've seen far worse. Okay, well, we are about here at the end stage of things. Now we're going to get into the testing and all that other stuff, but that's going to happen later on. Not bad. Not bad. I don't have any doubts about how the testing is going to come out. When your amplitude is high like this and you've got good clean output, there aren't any surprises. And I have good positional accuracy, and this is going to be a cracker of a watch. So I'm going to bolt the back on here, and we'll do the recap, and then we can test over the weekend, but I'm not going to see any surprises. So we can go from there. And there we go. That's a long couple solid days of work making that happen. I'm very proud of it. The numbers especially are what just make it satisfying. So we're all good on that. Big things I had to do. Obviously, I had to do adjusting a lot of the end shake and cleaning stuff up, installing the jewel, lower mainspring arbor, replacing the train bridge, which I'm trying to dig out here, but it's trying to hide from me. Come here, train bridge. There that is. But, I mean, overall, I had some extra labor to try and get it to clean up, and obviously I had to, reloom the hands and everything else like that, and redo this pip, clean up all this stuff, but the result is what we wanted. The result is what we wanted. I'm pretty happy with that, and I certainly hope you are too. And that's really about it. Come after the weekend, this will be more than ready to travel, and we can go from there. And I hope you're pleased. And by the way, also thank you so much for your patience. I realize it's been a very long time, and I apologize for how long it's taken. It was the work in front of you more than it was the actual watch yourself. There's only so many jobs I can get done in a week, but this week it was yours. Anyway, thank you so much, and we'll see you later.